All right. So, hi everyone. Welcome to New York Champagne Week's official welcome toast with Champagne Lanson. I am Blaine Ashley, the founder of New York Champagne Week, and I launched Champagne Week in 2013 with a total mission to get champagne in people's hands all day, every day, any day of the week, and take out the stigma of it just being for celebrations. So I have had a total blast producing this week for the last 7 years. And of course, it's usually a live event, as everyone on here knows, but I am thrilled to have figured out a way to make it a virtual experience that's equally as entertaining and interactive as the live events used to be. So that would not have been possible without the help of Wired for Wine, which is our online retail partner this year. And never in a million years did I dream that during a global pandemic, I'd be able to expand New York Champagne Week to across 39 states. So, I've been through the ups and downs that are standard with entrepreneurship through the years and experienced everything, but I never would have imagined that this would have afforded us the opportunity to take this to people's doorsteps all the way to Hawaii, where I'm originally from. Who would have thought? So I thank Wired for Wine for giving Champagne Week a chance, little old me a chance, in expanding the opportunity and the experience and bringing not only the New York spirit, but the world of champagne to the whole entire pretty much country. It's amazing. So with that said, this also wouldn't be possible, this year's event, without the help of the first ever Bubbly Board. And the Bubbly Board is my quote unquote board of directors, AKA people I love in the wine business that are passionate, quirky, fun, forward thinking, out of the box, just my kind of people. And so I've always been a one-woman show, but I'm so happy to have a group of people that are all incredibly busy, by the way, take time out of their busy schedule to sit in on this week's events and either host, lead, moderate, cheerlead for these events. And we'll be introducing them shortly. But in the meantime, we have the North America director for Champagne Lanson here, Thibaut Marinier. And I've known Thibaut for probably 7-8 years, as long as I've done Champagne Week. And I'm so happy to have Thibaut, as a long supporter of Champagne Week, support the welcome toast for this evening. So thank you, Thibaut, if you want to say a couple words about Champagne Lanson.
Yes, thank you, Blaine. What we're doing tonight, all of us, is what brings us together is, of course, we love champagne, and of course, we love Blaine, and of course, we love good moments in New York City or elsewhere. But what brings us together is a passion for wine and to share the education, to share the fun without snobbery. And I think that it was one of the reasons why we're so proud at Champagne Lanson to be part of this event, is that we could not dream of a better dream team. I see Amanda, I see Kelly, I see Julia, I see Shakira, Aksu, Eric, and I see, who am I missing? No one? Okay. Oh yeah, Cynthia, of course. And I see some friends of Lanson who have known Lanson. Some of you guys have discovered Lanson maybe a couple of weeks ago. Some of you have discovered Lanson 5, 6, 10, 15 years ago, and Lanson is from 1760. But there is one value that's very common to what Blaine is trying to do with the New York Champagne Week, is the value of openness, the value of kindness, the value of humility, the value of transparency, which is some values that we really enjoy at Champagne Lanson. And, this year was a very special year for Lanson because it was 260 years anniversary. So you have to imagine, 260 years, 1760. That's a tremendous history that we have here. And there are some values that stay over time. And one of those is very present in the manifesto that we have. And there is nothing more that we could support more Blaine into what he's trying to do with the New York Champagne Week is the love of sharing. Lanson, it's all about love. And there is a manifesto that we have at the house that I'm going to try to read you just one sentence out of it. Is at Lanson, we're among those who believe in love, the love for the soil, because we are talking about the soil here, the love for the terroir and a job well done, and a sustainable love, the love of sharing, of being together, of making people happy. And at Lanson, we always stand for the values of openness, kindness, humility, authenticity, and elegance. And I think that's something that all of you tonight, the Bubbly Board, but also that what Blaine have been trying to promote is something that, yes, champagne is excellent. Champagne is a product of luxury, but champagne is not snobbery, and that's something that we believe in. And I think that's the spread of this love of doing the thing well is something that we all have in common tonight. So yeah, to the Bubbly Board, thank you so much for joining the team tonight, and let's have a fun tonight. Cheers.
Cheers. So we'll get into the two wines that we're tasting tonight, which are the black label and the green label, which is the new organic label from Lanson. But first, I want to introduce the Bubbly Board. So we have Eric Segelbaum. Eric is a advanced sommelier, certified sommelier, and he was also Food and Wine Magazine's Sommelier of the Year in 2019. He is also a 40 under 40 tastemaker and wine enthusiast this year, and the founder of Sommelier, which is a events consulting business that he can shed some more light on. And in addition to that, you're the vice president of United Somm Foundation, which half of the proceeds for tonight's event benefits. So Eric, why don't you say a few words?
Oh, thank you so much. You can simplify my intro and just say, this guy drinks a lot. But
there you go.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here. I have to tell you, when I got invited to the Bubbly Board and then saw what my company was, I was like, are you sure I belong in this group? Like, this is like next level. So it's an honor to be a part of this with all of you. I love seeing so many faces of people that I've been interacting with for months or years. Like Blaine, kudos to you for putting together like the who's who of the industry. Thibaut, I know you said champagne isn't snobby. Don't let the bow tie fool you. I'm actually not wearing pants, so it balances it out. So we're all good here. But thank you for the introduction. I'm not going to tell you about sommelier. I'll just say this: full service consulting. I got out of restaurants after nearly 3 decades, and it was time to make a change. So I do a lot of education, a lot of events. I'd rather talk to you about the United Sommeliers Foundation, which, in fact, if you look in your chat through the magic of the internet, there is the link. We formed in March. After it was very clear that there were no resources for sommeliers. And with the understanding that because sommeliers tend to represent a fairly high labor line item, we tend to be the first to be laid off and the last to be rehired when times are bad. Furthermore, most sommeliers, despite the fact that we deal in luxury, most sommeliers live pretty close to paycheck, don't have benefits. So, Bugatti dealers don't drive Bugattis, right? So just because we deal in luxury. So we wanted to do something to really help our community. And it was an amazing board. It was founded by Christy Norman and Chris Blanchard. I'm honored to be the vice president. To date, we have raised nearly $1 million and distributed over $700,000 in emergency financial assistance to sommeliers who have lost their jobs and are in critical financial need through no fault of their own. So thank you to Lanson and to New York Champagne Week for continuing to support the foundation. Our goal is to keep $0 and give every penny we receive to sommeliers in need. And let me just be clear, we formed because of COVID, but we're not just because of COVID. We just started a wildfire relief for the California, Oregon, and Washington state fires. And we know that next month or next year, there's gonna be a hurricane or an earthquake or some event that causes more of our colleagues to need the help. And we are here for you. So for anyone who's watching, there's the website. If you're a sommelier in need, please apply. If you have any ability to support this cause, no amount is too small. If you want to put in $5, I promise you there are people who would be very grateful for that donation. So thank you for having me. And thank you all for your support of the United Sommeliers Foundation and our community.
Also, quickly before we move on, could you tell everyone what your events are for the week that you're involved in?
Oh, yes, goodness. All right. So for New York Champagne Week, In addition to this, I am hosting on Wednesday evening a taste of terroir through rosé colored lenses. This is going to be really fun because we do terroir tastings all the time, but never with rosé. So that is with Champagne Edouard Brun, Paul Gorg, and Paul Couron, and the Grand Cru add-on is Champagne Carbon. Speaking of Bugatti, that is the champagne of Bugatti. And then on Thursday night, we are hosting I'm hosting a Perrier Jouet event in conjunction with Christophe Silver, because why not stack luxury on luxury? And we'll be tasting their brand new non-vintage Blanc de Blanc, as well as their 2006, I think it was 2006, might be later. Let's call it 2006, but their Cuvée Belle Époque or Fleur de Champagne. So two really fun events. With Perrier Jouet, we'll really be exploring Chardonnay and its role in Champagne. And with the rosé colored glasses, we'll be talking about the major appellations, Vallée de Le Marne, Côte Blanc, Montagne de Reims, and how they apply their terroir to what's in the bottle. So please join us.
Thank you. Next up, we have Kelly Mitchell. So Kelly is a sales representative for Skurnik Wine and Spirits. She's the founder of Kelly Mitchell Wine, which she launched in 2016, and it's a consulting company. And then recently, on the cusp of the global pandemic, you launched Kelly Selects, which is in partnership with Wired for Wine. And you are the reason we have the partnership with Wired for Wine for New York Champagne Week. And Kelly Selects is a great wine club. And I mean, it's amazing. Kelly has a great palate, and she selects seasonal wines in a package of 6 that you can order through Wired for Wine. And I just indulged in my first experience, and I'm going to be a repeat customer. So I'll let Kelly take it away and tell you more about that, but also about your event for Champagne Week.
Yes, thank you so much for the introduction. It's wonderful to be here with everyone. I'm so excited to be on the Bubbly board. I have so many different connections with many people. I'm looking forward to continuing to build relationships with all of you. Thibaut, thank you so much for the samples of Lanson. It's been really nice to enjoy these wines. So thank you so much. I am going to be leading the event tomorrow night called Meunier Magic, which is a dedication to Meunier, Pinot Meunier, which is the third and usually the lesser grape variety that's permitted in the production of champagne. I'm going to be joined by my Skurnik colleagues, Gabe Clary, who's the Vice President of Champagne at Skurnik Wines and Spirits, and Abby Olivius, who is on his team as well. She's the Champagne brand ambassador. And we are really excited to showcase 3 of our grower champagnes that focus on Meunier dominated champagne. So that will be the event I'm leading tomorrow. And Blaine kind of gave you an introduction of what all the things I'm up to. Skurnik Wines, Wired for Wine is a great retail partner. If any of you all have virtual events or other needs for champagne or for wine fulfillment, please reach out to me. I was really happy to make the connection with Blaine for Wired for Wine to be the partner for New York Champagne Week, and would love to partner with all of you on your virtual events and all the programming that you may have as a background player helping with the fulfillment piece. So looking forward to connecting with more of you, and thanks again, and hope to see some of you tomorrow night on Meunier Magic.
Yeah, we were a good testing ground for all of you people that want to do things in the future with Wired for Wine, because we were both just starting this whole thing on our own together, and we figured it out. It was good. It was challenging, but it was great. So next up, we have someone in the business that undeniably maybe has the best smile and voice in the biz, and that is Shakira Jones, and she knows it. And because her voice is so good, she recently started a podcast with Som TV called A Glass for Every Palate, which is awesome, that highlights luminaries in the business. Some of them are on here today, like Kelly and Julia. And Shakira is also the founder of Black Girls Dine Too. And that is a blog and handle that, I mean, if you know anything about Shakira, you know that she's all about the caviar, the truffle, the rillette, all the good life. So I'm going to let Shakira take it away and talk more about what you're doing and also about your platform for New York Champagne Week.
Wow. Well, now I can't stop smiling. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here with you all for New York Champagne Week. Yeah, I'm Shakira. I am the founder of Black Girls Dine Too, which is a blog space that really just captures and chronicles people of color. Obviously, it started as a Black woman. Hello. But captures us in these spaces where people are not traditionally used to seeing us. I've written for Food and Wine. I've written for 750 Daily. I am continuing to write and work on other pieces. And I'm super excited to be a part of this with all these amazing people that I know and love, and happy to be sharing some great bubbly with you guys. What a week to be celebrating. For me, I have the distinct honor of hosting Unicorn Bottles. So every night starting tomorrow at 6 o'clock, I'm gonna go live on Instagram. My handle is Black Girls Dine Too. I'm gonna put it in the chat. And I am going to be opening some incredible, incredible bottles of champagne so that the next time you have a super special occasion, because we should be drinking champagne for no reason whatsoever. But when you want to get something special, I'm going to give you a couple of bottles that when you're in the mood to splurge or you're celebrating something major, these are the bottles you want to give a try. So I want to thank Blaine for having me as a part of the Bubbly Board. It's been a pleasure. And I look forward to sipping with you guys all week.
Yeah, it's also Shakira's birthday week, so we thought, we'll give her the unicorn bottles, right?
What a fun way to kick it off, man.
Next up, we have Haksu Kim. Haksu is a certified sommelier. He is the assistant sommelier, head sommelier at Per Se, and a trained opera professional. So please tell us how we tied in your two worlds to your Champagne Week event. Which is tonight.
Hi everybody, I'm Haksu. I don't know. I was always wanted to be a singer, and unfortunately there was some subprime mortgage back in like 2008 that happened, and a lot of the opera companies unfortunately folded, because first thing that they cut when companies have a hard time is the art fund. So I stumbled into restaurant industry. I worked at Cheongshik, and there was a 2-star restaurant. I mean, when I first joined there was a no star, and then the next year we got 1 star. The year after we got 2 stars, and then I worked there for 6 years. And then 2 years ago, I turned 40, and I was like, okay, what else can I do? And I would need to find something else that will be challenging. And that's when Michelle Couvreau at Per Se asked me to join the team, because she needed somebody to take over Per Se's wine program. So that's what happened 2 years ago. So yeah, that's my life. I'm pretty stuck still on the floor, unlike Eric, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm happy to be working with great wine professionals, and oftentimes people ask me, so what do you drink when you're off? And I say champagne, because all I have to do is twist and go. And and champagne has a versatility to pair with different kinds of food. So yeah, I will be doing a Paul Roger event later on, and I'm very happy to be presenting Paul Roger, because one of my favorite characters who I truly admire is Winston Churchill, and that's his favorite champagne. So I'm very excited. So we'll be tasting some few champagnes, and from time to time I pick some tunes to go along with wine. So like I do some musical pairings. So I'll do that later on at the Paul Roger. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So next up we have Julia Coney, who I'm pretty sure needs no introduction. Julia is a DC-based journalist, personality, host, moderator, educator, all the above. Julia and I met in 2016 with Rita Jamay, who's on here, at DC Champagne Week. And we instantly bonded, and I love to tell this story because there was fried chicken at the event. I ate the fried chicken while I was talking and drinking the champagne. And Julie decided that I was cool enough to hang out with her. And so we hung out all night drinking champagne. And Rita thought I was a crazy person, but just so happens that Rita's event this year for Champagne Week is the fried chicken and champagne fest. So it kind of all came together. But this was 2016. We had a blast. And Julia this summer founded the Black Wine Professionals, and she just got a huge award with Wine Enthusiasts as Social Visionary of the Year. So congratulations to Julia. Probably one of the most busy people that I know in this business right now, and she is taking time to do this and also host an event for Champagne Week. So thank you so much, Julia.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Julia Coney, wine journalist. I like to say I'm DC right now, but I just confirmed 2 months in Houston next year, and I cannot wait. Definitely bringing a lot of my champagne with me and opening some bottles there with all my good Southern food. I'm just also happy to see my family because I haven't seen them in a very long time, but I'm excited for, this Champagne Week. Blaine and I just really bonded. Like that night was a night I remember, but also a blur because we started drinking champagne at 11 in the morning. And I think when I got home, it was 3. So, thank goodness for Uber to get me home at then. So I'm excited because I am leading Ladies Night with Champagne Laurent Perrier on Wednesday night. And I am so excited because also Champagne Laurent Perrier is a partner with Black Wine Professionals, and they are sponsoring 5 Champagne Master level certifications with the Wine Scholar Guild and providing all their champagnes and glasses and allowing me, one of the things I love to do is just have people learn about champagne and why I love it. I went deep diving into champagne in 2016, right before New York Champagne Week. And after going there, this is the first time I haven't been to Champagne in 4 years. And normally I go 3 or 4 times. So I'm like going through withdrawals right now because I'm thus not in the area, but I'm so excited and I'm very hopeful because I actually confirmed a hotel room for April, thinking in my mind, I'm going to be there. So I'm just going to put all the positive vibes out. And so I'm excited about this week to learn actually too, and also sit back and just watch my colleagues and enjoy their stuff. Because sometimes when you work so much, you don't really get to enjoy your colleagues and get to see them. And I know we're all see each other on social, but it's just a week dedicated to the beautiful thing that is champagne, something we all love, something we enjoy drinking. In my mind, I'm an honorary Francophile. Like that's just the way it is. France has my heart. Is just one of those places I feel very at home in France. And I keep telling my husband that in the next 5 years, instead of looking at condos in Houston, I'm looking at little places in France to kind of live so I can, be mid-coastal and, expat as well at the same time. So I am going to come and bombard Cynthia because be like, can I be your neighbor? But I am so excited. We're going to have a great time. I'm excited about this wine because I discovered Champagne Lanson in 2016. I'll never forget, in April. And it was one of the wines we had at Comcy, which is a little restaurant there. And they were pouring that. And we had this amazing caviar pairing with it. And that's what I remember. So it's like a full circle moment of really, really enjoying a lot of great bubbles. So it's going to be fun.
So speaking of France, our French liaison is Cynthia Couture. So Cynthia is a night owl, thankfully for us. And Cynthia, say hello, Cynthia, so they know who you are. Cynthia is the founder of Delectable. Delectable is a women's champagne club that teaches and hosts champagne-focused events. Cynthia is a wealth of knowledge. She knows a lot about the history of champagne, particularly women-led houses. And she does a lot of amazing empowerment-focused events. So I'm really looking forward to continuing our relationship into our other platform, which is the Fizz is Female, which I'm also the founder of. Many of you know that. And we're going to be doing a lot with Fizz is Female in 2021. Hopefully, Cynthia, and hopefully we're all going to be in Champagne this time next year. So Cynthia, please tell us more about what you're doing for the category as a whole.
Well, first of all, I prefer to warn all of you that I only have 1 spare bedroom in Paris. So give me a heads up before you come. So I guess what makes me a little bit different is that I chose to, I'm Canadian, a woman in the wine industry in Paris. So you can imagine that I'm a minority here, but I chose to only use champagnes made by women for all of my events. And when I take people to Champagne, it's to houses that where women play a role, either in the past or the present. And I try to do sort of off the beaten path trips, either hiking or cycling in the vineyards and so on. And because I focus on women, I didn't know Champagne Lanson at all until Thibaut kindly organized a trip for me there. And I mean, I visited a lot of champagne houses, and with Lanson, first of all, I really like their grape to glass approach, because they have some vineyards in Reims with a view of the cathedral, and their whole visit is very educational. You really learn, and not like sheep being herded. Like if you ever go, I don't want to trash any of the other houses, but sometimes you just kind of feel, and the team at Lanson made me feel so welcome. I really, like their motto is, it's all about the love. Well, it's not just words. They really, really walk the talk. And I got to spend at least an hour with Hervé Danton. And we didn't talk about technical, the different percentages of grape varieties. It was like, okay, what makes your heart beat? What are the values that what are you trying to do with the champagne? And I was really impressed by the visit. And I really encourage you to go visit them. It's worth it. It's a really special house. So you might become the exception, Thibaut, of the only house that isn't woman-led. But I don't know if it was you or Hervé that told me that for your organic vineyards, it's a woman who will be taking over the management of the organic vineyards as of January. So cheers to her. And if any of you do come to Paris, look me up. I can share my. I have like anything from a grunge champagne bar to high-end luxury, and I'd be happy to have a glass of champagne with you, or take you to some of my favorite places in Champagne as well. So, cheers to all of you, and a special cheers to Blaine, who has united all of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Cynthia. Merci for staying up late in Paris for us. But I know that this is a norm for you. You don't have a time zone. Okay, we have a Bubbly Board member that is not here this evening. He is a Houston-based sommelier, champagne sommelier, and he is working at a wine bar tonight. That's Cornelius Anthony Jr. And Cornelius is part of the Champagne Wishes and Caviar Dreams event that's happening on Thursday evening with Rare Champagne, Charles Heidsieck, and Piper Heidsieck. So if you guys are going to that, you'll get to meet Cornelius. Cornelius also is launching a new wine club called Demousse Wine Club. So keep, abreast of that. He'll be posting on his social media. And then last but certainly not least, we have Amanda Goodwin. Amanda is the real house wine. She is a very popular Instagram influencer in the wine space, has a blog. She recently launched, she's launched a National Orange Wine Day and recently pulled off a virtual Orange Wine Week. Definitely has interest in more of the natural and organic space. So speaking to and coming off of what Cynthia was saying about the organic Lanson Green Label, I know that Amanda has spoken to Thibaut a bit more about that than the rest of the group. She recently did an Instagram Live with Thibaut, and you're going to be moving more in that direction. So tell us more about what you're doing and your involvement in Champagne Week.
First of all, thank you so much, Blaine, for putting this whole
week together and assembling the bubbly board. Like when I saw the lineup of everyone on the bubbly board, I was just like, oh my God, like I can't believe it. Like I was so flattered and honored. And I just want to say thank you for that. Yeah, pretty much like my focus, like a lot of vineyards, I guess, like I've kind of transitioned to sustainable and organic and biodynamic producers. It's what I typically like to highlight because I think it's like really important to take care of our environment. And one of the things that Champagne Lanson is doing is their new green label, which when I heard about it, I was so excited because admittedly, I'm not a big champagne person because of all the spraying and everything like that, not to knock champagne houses. But when I heard about the green label, I was just over the moon. I couldn't wait to hear more. Thibaut and I, we had like a Zoom chat together all about it. And I think it's great. And I'm really excited for the future of Champagne and the direction it's headed. I think there's a lot more sustainability coming out, more organic or practicing organic type vineyard styles. And it's like a really exciting time in the region of Champagne. Last, at the end of the week on Saturday, I'm going to be kind of like co-judging the masquerade event with Bilkart Simone. So basically there's a prize. Blaine, what is the prize again?
A magnum of Brut Reserve.
That's awesome. Yeah, so you get to win a magnum of the Brut Reserve from Bilkart Simone if you win the masquerade costume competition. So I hope to see all of you on Saturday for that.
Yes. So thank you all. Thanks to all of the bubbly board. You guys are all awesome. I'm so excited to attend all the week's events. And I think we're just gonna like cap it off with a little bit more about the wines we're drinking tonight from Lanson. So Thibaut?
Yes, thank you, Blaine. Yeah, it was amazing to hear all of your comments. Like, I just realized some of you have discovered Lanson in the past couple of weeks, and some of you have known Lanson for many years. But the thing I want to say to everyone is like, you know, it is true that we have a fantastic team, and yeah, going to Lanson experience it is that. Anytime the international border reopens, you know, we really hope to see you there. So tonight we have 2 wines, 2 cuvées. The Black Label, which is a classic, the most iconic cuvée for Champagne Lanson, and then we have the Green Label, which is totally different. So it's very interesting for those of you who have it like side by side to see what Champagne can do. You know, so the Black Label is your classic, very classic. Champagne, so it's made out of 100 villages. It's made like mostly Premier Cru and Grand Cru. This is something that we do at Champagne Lanson. Minimum 50% of the Premier Cru and the Grand Cru, the best villages. So this is based of 2015. So I was talking earlier about values that we have at Lanson, about the openness and transparency and humility. That's something that we actually have at Lanson that's starting right now, and that all of you tonight received like the first batch of those new labels, is that we want to be transparent about what we make, about like wine. And our winemaker, Hervé Danton, is always going to tell you, you know, it's very easy to make a very good wine. That's going to be the prestige cuvée, and that's going to be like the single vintage that's 20-year-old, etc. But the most important is to make the base. You know, like the wine that we're the most proud of at Champagne Lanson is the Black Label. It's an iconic cuvée. It's a wine that we have been making since 1937. And what we're drinking now, the Black Label, is 50% Pinot Noir, 35% Chardonnay, 15% Pinot Meunier. It's based harvest of 2015, and the Black Label is going back 15 years in terms of reserve wine. So for those of you who have tasted quite some champagne, and I know the bubbly board, like we have some people with a very experienced palate here, you know, I'm not going to give any names, but for all of those who enjoy champagne, you realize that the reserve wine in champagne, it has layers of complexity. So the style of Lanson, which is very good in the Black Label, is really well perceived in the Black Label, is going to be no malo, so great acidity, green label, citrus, very high acidity, really refreshing style, a champagne that you want 1 glass, 2 glasses of. But because of the very old aging on the lees, we're talking 4 years from 2015, 4 years on the lees. So that's 4 years of aging. On the average for a Brut non-vintage is going to be 15 months. So we're talking 3 times the aging. What the longer aging on the lees gives you is the extra bready, yeasty, brioche aromas that we all love in champagne, and that's what the black label gives you. And then with the old reserve wines, we're not talking black label from 1 year earlier. So if the base one is 15, we're not taking like reserve wine from 14 or 13, 2 years back. We're talking reserve wine from all the way back 15 years. Those reserve wines add just layers of complexity. And this is what I love about the black label is that, yes, it's very refreshing, very high acid, green apple, citrus, no malo style of champagne, but also very long aging from the long aging of the wine. If next to it, you drink the green label, what the green label is totally different. The green label, we're talking just one harvest, 2015, and Eric, if you want to show the back label on it, Eric, since you're at it, the back label mentioned that what is the harvest wine and the base wine. So this is harvest 2015, no reserve wines, 100% from 2 villages, Verneuil and Vendières. So black label, we're talking the best of Champagne, the style of Lanson, 100 villages. Green label, just 1 village. So it's not a wine of process. The green label is a wine of place and time. This is harvest 15 from what exactly village that we have, the greenest in terms of viticulture that you can possibly do in Champagne. So the green label is a very special because it represents a specific place and specific time, which is very rare. And in Champagne, it's quite hard to be organic. It's not because we're dirty in terms of Champagne, in terms of the willingness to be organic or biodynamic. It's just because we're quite up north. Champagne is north of Paris, and the Champagne region is very, very humid, especially between mid-May and mid-June, which means that you have a high humidity. In some villages, like the green label in the village of Verneuil, we have been farming biodynamically for more than 20 years. It's actually when you actually farm biodynamically for more than 15 and 20 years, it makes the vine stronger. It makes the vine resist without spraying into the biodynamic and organic spraying. So which means that there is only 1% of the Champagne region that's called organic, and the green label is part of those. And when we're making the green label, we just want to show the growing Champagne. We want to show the people who enjoy Champagne, and we want to show the people at the export who enjoy like any Brut non-vintage that, yes, you actually can make organic and biodynamic Champagne within the Champagne region that tastes like with the similar aromas that we have with the black label, but with a different style. So this is what the green label is all about. And, I think like it's the same way like that more and more people realize that, I want to eat better. So why not drinking better, and to actually keep the AB, which is the organic like certification or the biodynamic certification, it takes a lot of efforts. And some regions, well, it's just impossible to keep those, But like Amanda understands really well, we're talking a lot about the orange wine and organic wines and how it's difficult in Champagne to be organic. The green label is one of those, and it's a very tiny plot of land, which is a little garden. This is how we see it, and it's very limited. And we are very happy to share it with all of you, and to say, it's possible to drink something that way and to produce something that way in the Champagne region, it's not just about that specific cuvée. It's about all of what we do in the Champagne region. But it's for me, it's the best exercise to take those side by side. 100 villages, one or two villages, and this is a classic, from the region. this is a farm biodynamically, and like what you actually experience instead of, all of you are very experienced drinkers and tasters, and we're talking Haksu, which is at per se. We're talking Amanda, who has tasted so many different organic wines. Eric has known Lanson for many years, Cynthia from Delectable, she has visited Lanson, but she has so much experience with champagne. Blaine, who has tasted more champagne than Blaine? Is like, ultimately, what do you like in terms of champagne?
I'm probably made up of champagne, to be honest. Like probably like the water that a female is generally made up of is champagne in my system. Which I don't know if it's a good thing. What was that?
That's what keeps you looking so young.
All of us, you're the barometer. We're chasing that line, and the problem is the line keeps moving because you keep drinking more champagne. So we're all chasing after that.
Yeah, people ask how I look young for 50. No, I'm not 50, and I say champagne. I say champagne. That's it. Sorry, Thibaut. Go on.
No, it couldn't make me happier tonight, like to be with all of this crew. And I see some people like from the people joining us tonight. Like I see Anna. Hello, Hannah. How are you? And I see a lot of good people. You know what? The fact that Rita is with us tonight. I've heard so many great things about Rita and her champagne, and all about like we're talking about sharing like good moments and good things. So yeah, it's Blaine, it's a good crew that you have put together, and thank you for that.
Thank you. This wasn't stressful at all to move to the virtual space after 7 years of producing a live event. So I needed champagne for the pain of transition.
Okay.
What was that, Shakira?
No pain. You got this done easily.
No. I'm saying like it's been awesome. Like I said in the opening discussion, to be able to extend out the experience to 39 states with the help of Wired for Wine and Kelly specifically, and all the brands involved in the Bubbly Board, it's been awesome. Like I'm super excited to have this kickoff event. Thank you so much, Thibaut, for bringing Lanson to us for this event. And I know a lot of people opened these bottles on the Bubbly Board this weekend, so it's a great week. We are gonna have an amazing week thanks to everyone that's on the Bubbly Board and all the brands involved. And thank you so much. If anyone has any closing questions, just pipe them into the chat. We have the Paul Roger kickoff party right after this at 7 p.m. with Haksu, and he's going to be guiding a tasting followed by a little like opera performance, which is super fun. You can still get virtual access tickets. I promise the link is working now. We've been like sidebarring over here with the graphic designer to make sure everything's all good and copacetic. So if you guys want to join that and you haven't gotten the tickets yet, still available. How many bottles does Lanson produce?
So Champagne Lanson produces between like 3 to 3.5 million bottles. So the way to see Champagne Lanson, Julia, is like we're the smaller of the big guys, or we're the bigger of the small guys. The difference with Lanson is that we're still family owned, and since 1760. So it's not a huge like modding group like in front of everything. Lanson is not a small producer, even though in the US it's not the most known, but we're still family owned, and it's all family from Champagne. We don't make spirits, we don't make vodka, we don't make any other products. We only focus on Champagne, and it's all family owned. So yeah, like 3 to 3.5 million bottles. So it makes Lanson like it's one of your top 10 champagnes, but like somehow in the US, it's a champagne that a lot of your people never heard of. And that's why, we enjoy so much talking to all of you tonight, is that you can say, hey, you know, there is one champagne house that you have never heard of that is doing some good things, you know, about like, just try the black label, which is the classic cuvee, or try what they're trying to do with the green label, which is the organic cuvee. And yeah, Champagne Lanson in the US, some people might never had heard of, but you know, hopefully at the international, it's going to catch up, you know, thanks to all of the good job that people like Blaine and all of you tonight are going to do to spread the love for Lanson. So yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you, Thibaut.
You mind if
Vincent said really quick before we like pipe off that this is a great champagne. Which one are you having, Vincent? Do you have the green label or the black label?
I have the black label.
Nice. There you go. I mean, it's a pretty standby champagne, so you can't go wrong with that. It's a great opener to Champagne Week. Eric, did you have something to say?
Always, you know me well enough to know that, but I'd love to just give like some quick, I was going to make a comment, but now I want to give some perspective in response to the production. I don't know if you saw it in the chat, but yeah, 3.5 million bottles, that sounds like a lot, but Moet and Chandon makes more Dom Perignon than that. And that's just supposed to be their tête de cuvée. And that's nothing to say anything bad about Dom Perignon or Moet and Chandon, but just for like, to calibrate, like your entire production is smaller than just one mark from another one of the big houses. So what I really appreciate about what Lanson does and why I've been such a devoted fan, and Vincent, you sort of nailed it with the black label, is like, it's a larger, smaller, or smaller, larger, however you want to put it, but it doesn't feel that way. And I have to say specifically, the thing I wanted to say was this green label could have sold on the fact that it was organic. The assemblage, it could have tasted just like the black label, and you could say organic and charge $20 a bottle more. Okay, so just to prove I'm not a snob, can I swear?
Yeah, of course you can. I love swearing. Fuck, shit, damn. Let's open up champagne.
All right, you know you're in the company. Of course you can.
This champagne is fucking delicious. It is so stupidly good for the price. I don't know how you do it. And we all know that sometimes organic can just be dogmatic about process but not results, and the result is excused for the process. In this case, holy shit, Thibaut. And I've had this before, so tasting this is not a surprise, but it's also been about a year since I've had it, and what an amazing reminder. So like, kudos to Lanson that you can, I don't even know what the production of the organic is, but that you can do a large scale production of an organic wine that tastes this incredible. So I just wanted to throw that out there for what it's worth.
I hope YouTube doesn't delete our video because I said fuck shit.
And it's also such that the green label is so food friendly. I think that oftentimes when people have champagnes with that much acid, sometimes it can be a bit jarring to them. I'm an acid freak, so I love it. But I think that it's so well balanced that it's really approachable and super, super food friendly. And it's a great way to start because now it gets your mouth watering, you're hungry, you're ready for the next bottle. I agree with everyone's comments. I think it's a really, really great wine.
You were saying that today, that it was super food friendly. It needs some like some richness almost, like maybe some of that truffle rillette you were having this weekend. I don't know. All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming tonight. Like, as I said earlier, you know, oh, hi. Look, we have a little mascot, a little future champagne drinker.
No more cursing, guys.
I think she's had champagne already. I actually think she might have had champagne. Thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you to Thibaut. Again, like it wouldn't be possible without Wired for Wine. The brands are on board this year, the Bubbly Board, people who bought tickets to the events that had broken links. Like, thank you all so much for attending tonight. And I hope to see you through the week. If you have any questions about future events, please just DM me. I have 5 different platforms: Champagne Blaine, New York Champagne Week, Blaine Ashley, and then all the Bubbly Board members, they're dialed in to like what's going on. And we're on text all the time. So please just message us if you want to come to an event, if you know you have a question about where to buy the wine, if you didn't get to buy the wine through Wired for Wine, we still want you to come.
And thank you all so much for making this possible, because this is such a gnarly space to pull off 7 years of Champagne Week. So I'm so thankful to everybody for being on board. So thank you all and have a great night. And I'll see some of your faces at the Paul Roget kickoff party.